Hello. Hi. It's been too long since I've gotten to talk to you guys. And today I'm inspired by a piece of prose that I found posted by my friend Shelley on Facebook. And I think it deserves to be read out loud. I did not write this. I want to make that clear. The author to whom it's attributed is Ev'yan Whitney. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And I'm just going to dive right into it. Here we go. There she is, the too much woman, the one who loves too hard, feels too deeply, asks too often, desires too much. There she is, taking up too much space with her laughter, her curves, her honesty, her sexuality. Her presence is as tall as a tree, as wide as a mountain. Her energy occupies every crevice of the room. Too much space she takes. She is dangerous. And there she goes, that too much woman, making people think too much, feel too much, swoon too much. She with her authentic prose and a self-assuredness in the way she carries herself. She with the belly laughs and her insatiable appetite and her proneness to fiery passion. All eyes on her, thinking she's hot shit. Oh, that too much woman, too loud, too vibrant, too honest, too emotional, too smart, too intense. Too pretty, too difficult, too sensitive, too wild, too intimidating, too successful, too fat, too strong, too political, too joyous, too needy, too much. She should simmer down a bit, be taken down a couple notches. Someone should put her back in a more respectable place. Someone should tell her. Here I am, a too much woman, with my too tender heart and my too much emotions. A hedonist, feminist, pleasure seeker, empath. I want a lot. Justice, sincerity, spaciousness, ease, intimacy, actualization. Respect, to be seen, to be understood, your undivided attention, and all of your promises to be kept. I've been called high maintenance because I want what I want, and intimidating because of the space I occupy. I've been called selfish because I am self-loving. I've been called a witch because I know how to heal myself. And still I rise. Still I want and feel and ask and risk and take up space. I must. Us too much women have been facing extermination for centuries. We are so afraid of her, terrified of her big presence, of the way she commands respect and wields the truth of her feelings. We've been trying to stifle her, the too much woman. We've been trying to stifle the too much woman for eons, in our sisters, in our wives, in our daughters, and even now, even today, we shame the too much woman for her bigness, for her wanting, for her passionate nature. And still, she thrives. In my own world and before my very eyes, I am witnessing the reclamation and rising up of the too much woman. That too much woman is also known to some as wild woman or the divine feminine. In any case, she is me. She is you. And she is loving that she is finally getting some airtime. If you've ever been called too much, or overly emotional, or bitchy, or stuck up, you are likely a too much woman. And if you are, I implore you to embrace all that you are, all of your depth, all of your vastness, to not hold yourself in, and to never abandon yourself, your bigness, your radiance. Forget everything you've heard. Your too muchness is a gift. Oh yes, one that can heal, incite, liberate, and cut straight to the heart of things. Do not be afraid of this gift, and let no one shy you away from it. Your too muchness is magic, is medicine. It can change the world. So please, too much woman, ask, seek, desire, expand, move, feel, be, make your waves, fan your flames, give us chills, please, rise. We need you. So that's the end of that piece, and this is the third time I'm reading it all the way through. Probably stumbled over a couple of pieces there, but it's pretty breathtaking, and I want to thank Ev'yan Whitney. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, for writing that and for sharing it with the world, and for the air that it breathed into my soul. It was just, that was awesome. So speaking of being big and powerful and magical and healing, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the most recent collection that was released by New Cobalt Designs, which was Autumn Part 1. And we brought back several of our previous autumnal scents and potions, and the Part 1 section of the autumn release is really focused on the changing of seasons, especially in a place like where I live in central Ohio, where our seasons are very distinct, and there is definitely cold in our winter and warmth in our summer. There is growth and greenery in one part of the year, and there is the changing of leaves. So I live in a part of the world that I feel very lucky to live in, that demonstrates change in that very kind of theatrical way. And being here, I am inspired to capture that with things like Autumn Part 1, the Critters collection, and things that kind of really focus on the natural world and how it reveals itself in this part of the world. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. One of the things that came back in that Autumn Part 1 collection is called Starlight and Spider Silk. It has been received very warmly, and I'm delighted that it's still a big favorite. Starlight and Spider Silk, I think there were probably a few photographs that inspired that one, but there's also pretty healthy spider population around here. Here in the workspace, I walked in yesterday to get a few things done and was greeted by a strand of spider silk right across the face as I walked in. They're around. But I was particularly interested in the phenomenon of raindrops or dewdrops, really just tiny little jewels of water suspended along those strands, and the light and the way light changes around those strands and around those beads of water. And I wanted to kind of capture that. It's breathtaking to me. It's one of those images that always makes me stop and gasp. So Starlight and Spider Silk is made to paint that picture. It is a very dry, non-gourmand vanilla that is very cold. I make a special accord out of essential oils that I find hit me up here in the nose rather than down here in the nose. So in the same way that peppermint or wasabi will affect the nose higher up, I wanted something that would simply read as cold, the way that when you go outside and the air is starting to catch a little bit of a chill, as it does in the autumn here in central Ohio, the effect of that kind of breath would be translated through that accord. So the cold accord, the very dry vanilla. If you have a bottle, you've probably noticed that there's the tiny, tiny little vanilla bean, like actual, vanilla bean that the perfume soaks in. And so it's one of my favorites. I like to wear it a lot. It seems to be one of our customers' favorites too. So yay, thanks guys. Another one I wanted to talk about is trembling aspen, both for the olfactory element of it and what the kind of image I wanted to invoke with it, but also the magical aspect of it. I, and a great many of you, have wrestled with anxiety and, just experiences of fear, whether it's fear of clear and present danger, actually being at risk in various ways, especially right now in what we're going through across the globe with the pandemic. The feelings of fear and the way that affects our choices and the way that affects our ability to proceed with our responsibilities, to fulfill our promises, to achieve what we need to achieve throughout the day, whether it's just getting up out of bed and feeding yourself, or it's getting through an 8-hour workday and managing your kids and being your kids' teacher in some of our cases. So the fear element was something I really wanted to address magically, because while fear is not something that we can necessarily ever defeat or escape, it doesn't have to be the boss of us. And so with Trembling Aspen, I wanted to create a magical substance that would support the process of setting fear aside, like windshield wipers. I see you, I acknowledge that you're there, you're affecting my ability to perceive my situation, but you don't have to windshield wipe. You don't have to be the end all be all. You don't have to stop me. So, and on the scent side of Trembling Aspen, there's a really cool tree called a Trembling Aspen. And the reason it's called that is it has leaf stalks that are shaped differently from the usual leaf stalk on a tree. And it allows for the leaves, instead of swaying in the breeze that you might see on an oak or a maple, it trembles in this way that makes the whole tree kind of look like it's fluttering, glistening, as if it were populated by butterflies rather than leaves, which is just kind of awesome. It's one of the trees in this area that tends to change its color first before other trees do, and it turns a very bright yellow, which I think is a really underrated color. I love yellow. So I wanted to describe that golden yellow flutter in an autumnal way, in a way that had a dynamic movement to it, but it's still very natural scented. So I went with a little bit of a citrus edge for the top notes, some very neutral woods for the middles, and it has a bit of an amber bottom. It's very pleasant to wear, I find, and its magical effect has been super supportive for me, so I hope it lends you the same kind of support. And I think that's it for today. So thanks for watching my first video from the new workspace. I love it here so much. And I will make you another video again soon. Have a happy week, or what's left of it. It's Thursday. Anyway, bye.